acknowledge suffering and still have hope, right? That kind of both and recognizing what that looks like to embrace that from the Father. So we're going to start out lying on our backs. So if you guys want to actually take your block, we're going to do, Alex, if you have a block at home, you can use a block. But just taking a block, or if you have a pillow, really anything that just kind of opens the heart up, you can stick the block right in between the shoulder blades here. And then you can just lay yourself down just to kind of feel that. And then we're going to do feet together, knees out wide. Maybe you rest with your hand on your belly, just resting the crown of the head on the floor. And just start to pay attention to your body here in this space. If you're at home, you can simply rest flat on your back with your feet together, knees out wide, or maybe you still rest just with your feet all the way out in front of you. Either one really works. Allowing the space in your chest to open up, finding this heart opener even right here when laying down. Again, just starting to pay attention to your breath, pay attention to your body. We're going to start with this verse from John 4 that says, God is spirit, so those who worship him must worship in spirit and in truth, right? We don't just worship with our mouths. We don't just worship with our body. We don't just worship with our words, right? We worship in spirit and in truth. I think something interesting to think about is how spirit and truth is a state of being, right? It's a reality, it is fact, right? And spirit is more movement. So it's kind of cool that we can have this way of being, this truth, absolutely wholly true, mixed with this movement, right? This act, this verb. So as we move tonight, may you rest and recognize the ability to both be and act, right? The ability to receive and give. I want you guys just to start to pay attention to your breathing. Maybe you really take a deeper inhale through the nose, feeling every part of the belly, feeling it expand like a balloon. Again, if at any point tonight you need any sort of assists, let me know and I can help you in that. Just really feeling those transverse abdominis muscles expanding and contracting. We're going to take 5 more rounds of breath. Nice and full. And then after your 5th and final breath, you can just kind of roll onto one side and remove any prop out from underneath you. So whether it's a block or if you're at home and you have a blanket or a pillow, just removing that block out from underneath you and placing it over to the side. We're going to lay all the way flat on our back. And then I want you guys just to slowly bring those knees in to the chest, hugging them in, rocking side to side. Again, just massaging that spine. And then I want everybody to take their right knee and cross it over their left. Kind of like you're sitting in a chair, right? So cross that right knee over the left. And then grabbing your hands around both of your ankles. This is kind of a good little supported hip stretch here. So grabbing both of those ankles, knees stacked one on top of the other, pulling those ankles out and then towards the face, right? So it's almost like we're seated on the ground in our cow face position, but here we have our knees coming towards the chest, feet are moving out towards the edge of our mat. So I'm gonna come help you guys to cross your leg all the way on top, like you're crossing your legs in a chair, and then lift those feet up. Yeah, there you go. That's the difference. And then grab onto your ankles and then pull your feet up and in. There you go. We're gonna take 3 more breaths on this side, feeling that glute stretch, right? Feeling that hip open up. Then you can start to slowly, on your 3rd and final breath, drop those feet down on the ground, just behind your glute. Maybe you windshield wiper those knees side to side, just to release that low back for a minute. Then we're gonna switch and do the opposite. So we're gonna bring that left knee on top of the right this time. And again, lifting those ankles kind of up towards the sky almost, right? As you then pull them in towards your chest. Finding your breath. And I'll come around and help you guys stretch into those hips. And then lift your ankle up. Yeah, there you go. Pulling it in. Yep, and you like cross one knee on top of the other. There you go. 2 more breaths. And then after your 2nd breath, you can slowly again drop those feet down behind your glute and just windshield wiper those knees again, rocking them side to side. Then we're gonna start to slowly massage your spine here. We're gonna rock back and forth a few times. Maybe feel those vertebrae crack, that's okay, right? Allow yourself to just really massage it out before you come all the way to seated. And then turning yourself just to face the front of your mat, letting those knees fold out. We're gonna plant the hands on the knees and do a little seated cat-cow here. So as we inhale, we're gonna actually pull the chest through, squeeze those shoulder blades together at the back, lift the chin. And then as you exhale, we're gonna kind of round through the belly, pulling that navel in towards the spine, tucking the chin in, right? Inhale, pulling through. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And 3 more, just like that. Inhaling. Using your breath. Nice and full. 1 more good one. There you go. And then finding that nice, tall, neutral spine. Allowing those shoulders to drop down away from the ears. We're gonna go ahead and give ourselves some neck circles here. So dropping that right ear towards the right shoulder. Chin's gonna come all the way down through the chest, left ear to left shoulder. And then rotating yourself all the way around if you'd like. Or if you just wanna do little baby half circles, you can do that as well. Just stretching out our vertebrae here. And then making sure to go back the opposite direction. There you go. And then we're gonna come back to that neutral spine. We're gonna go ahead and inhale, expand those arms out beside us. Really open up the chest, squeeze those shoulder blades together at the back, right? Feel it open. And then we're gonna cross that right bicep over top of the left. Palms face the opposite walls here. And then we're gonna wrap that left hand inside the right arm. I'll help you in just a second. Drop those shoulders down away from the ears and then allow the forearms to press out and up. If you did arm day yesterday, you'll feel it. Okay, so really cross the bicep over first and then grab right there. That's okay right there. You can just you don't have to grab your hand necessarily. You can just kind of latch and then allow the shoulders to come down. And then press the forearms out and up. You feel it in between your shoulder blades? little bit? It's okay. And one side might be better than the other, right? So we're going to hold here for 3 more breaths. Again, really dropping those shoulders down away from the ears. And then slowly unwinding, kind of roll it out the shoulders. Shake it out. Good job. And we're going to inhale, expand those arms again. And this time, cross that left arm over top of the right. One side might be better at it than the other. So again, really get those biceps to rotate on top of each other. And then that right hand's going to wrap inside that left arm. And we're going to drop the shoulders down away from the ears again. And then once you do that, you can allow your forearms to press out and up. So if you have to grab right here, if you have to kind of like shoot that left arm up a little higher, you can. You can shoot your left arm up higher. So almost like bring that hand down more into the crevice and just kind of wrap your hand inside that wrist or that forearm. Does your hand move? So really wrap the hand, rotate your hand around a little bit more. Does your hand rotate? Like you see how my hand's going backwards? Your hand doesn't bend? I'm serious. Okay, your hand won't bend. Okay, that's okay. So we're just gonna wrap right there. And you can just hold right here. You know, yeah, you can just use your knuckle, but really try to focus on dropping the shoulders down and expanding into them. So you're gonna press those arms out away from you. So you'd kind of press out and up. And even if you're just like right here, like even if you were just crossing your arms like this, you really want to feel those shoulder blades expand, right? Yeah, so just pressing them out right there. And then you guys can start to slowly unwind if you have been in that pose for a minute. Shake out those shoulders, right? We're gonna go ahead and kick those feet out in front of us. So extending them nice and long. Flexing those toes up towards the ceiling, okay? Maybe you pull your flesh away from your sits bones. Inhale those arms up high overhead. And then allow yourself to fold down. Melting into your pose here. Maybe you grab behind your calves or your knees, maybe your ankles, right? Wherever you're at, pulling yourself in, letting that head be heavy. Flexing those toes up towards the ceiling so that you really feel the stretch in the back of your legs. There you go. Taking 3 full breaths. I think we often live in this world, again, of black and white, one extreme or the other, right? And so when we live in this one extreme or the other, it really limits us to all that's in between, right? All the gifts that can be held in the in-between, right? So here we're going to embrace the both and, not this extreme or that, but living in that middle ground. You can slowly roll yourself up. And from here, I want you guys just to take, you can kind of gently cross left leg in, but leg up. We're going to do a little cradle rock, okay? So this is what we do. So you get better at them. So we're going to place that right foot inside that left bicep. And then if you can wrap that right arm around and interlace those fingers here, we're just going to rock it side to side. Just a little release, just a little mobility. You guys got it. There you go. And then we're going to slowly release. All this is our prep work, right? And then we're going to, yeah, this is prep. And then we're going to bring that left foot inside the right bicep, this time reaching that left arm around. Again, just kind of rocking those hips side to side. Loosening up that hip joint. This is going to help you with your squats, right? There we go. And then coming all the way down, just release that leg. We're going to rotate over onto our shins, coming into our tabletop position. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, right? Maybe just kind of exaggeratedly turn your body side to side here. So almost like you're gazing out over that left shoulder towards your left glute, right? And then you rotate the opposite way, right gaze towards the right glute. Just kind of rocking side to side. Feel a little bit of that extension in the sides. Okay, and then coming back to that neutral tabletop, we're gonna tuck the toes. Okay, go ahead and lift those hips high to the sky, pressing those hips towards the sky. Your heels are gonna drive down to the ground. And just rock your dog side to side, maybe pedal into one foot and then the other. Again, letting your head be heavy, spreading those fingertips nice and wide, allowing the shoulders to retract away from the ears, right? I want you guys to take a nice slow inhale through the nose, exhaling side out. 2 more just like that. Inhale, and then as you exhale, side out. So lift those hips up. There you go, and drive those heels down. There you go. Very good. I think even through the example of Jesus, we can see how we can have the both and. We can have both the death and the resurrection. Death and the resurrection, the both and, even in his example. We're going to take a nice inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, we're going to walk, step, or float those feet kind of up just to the middle of your mat. We're going to inhale, halfway lift, flatten that back. Exhale, fold yourself in nice and heavy. Let that head fall, and then slowly roll yourself up one vertebrae at a time, letting your head be the last thing to rise as you make your way to a standing position. Rolling out those shoulders. Inhale, sweep those biceps up by the ears, palms face one another, bringing the hands together at the heart as you fold all the way back down. Again, letting your head be heavy, inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, folding it in. And then again, roll yourself up one vertebrae at a time. Rolling out those shoulders, we're going to move through our sun salutation A 3 times, okay? So as we inhale, sweep those biceps up. Exhale, fold it all the way in. Inhale, halfway lifting. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, walk, step, or float those feet back to your high plank position. Let's find that first, being nice and slow here, wrists underneath the shoulders, keeping those elbows in nice and tight as you slowly lower down to your chaturanga push-up. And then we're gonna flip those feet, inhaling to our upward facing dog, squeezing the shoulder blades together at the back. And then as you exhale, come to your down dog. Taking a nice inhale through the nose. Exhale, walk, step, or flip those feet up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, sweep those arms up high overhead. Maybe a little mini back bend as you bring the palms together and hands at the heart again. So that was a full sun salutation A, 1 round, right? So inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, folding all the way in. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten that back. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, walk, step, or float back. Slowly lowering down in that chaturanga push-up. Inhale, upward facing. Again, really squeeze those shoulder blades together at the back, shoulders away from the ears. Hips, pelvis should be off the ground. There you go. And then coming into your down dog. Good job. Inhaling. As you exhale, walk those feet up to center of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding it all the way in. Very good. Inhale, sweep those biceps up by the ears again. Maybe another little mini back bend as you bring the hands together at the heart. 1 more full round of that. Okay, so inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, folding all the way in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, walk, step, or float back. Slowly lowering down, chaturanga push-up. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, down dog. There you go. Then we're going to take an inhale, and as you inhale, raise that right leg high to the sky. And then we're going to sweep that right foot up in between the hands, planting it down. So you have to use that lower abdominal to lift those hips as you sweep that foot in, right? Go ahead and blade that back foot down to the ground and then cartwheel those arms up, warrior 2. Nice deep bend in that front knee. Very good. Notice your pelvis here. You want to go ahead and tuck it up underneath you a little bit more. Good job. Shoulders down away from the ears. Front heel is going to intersect the arch of your back foot. There you go. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, side out. Feels good, right? Take a deep inhale. And this time as you exhale, we're going to plant that right forearm on that right thigh, extending that left arm overhead towards the wall in front of you. There you go. Again, kind of the both and here would be imagining that both your arm in front of you is reaching towards that wall while your back foot's reaching towards the wall behind you, right? So finding that length. Both and. And then cartwheeling back up to center. And then reversing that warrior. So we're going to slide that left hand down that left leg, reaching that right arm high overhead. So you want to keep that back leg straight still, Luke. There you go. Straighten it up. Straighten your back leg. That's your front leg with me. Yeah. So keep your front leg bent. Front foot's going to face towards me. Knee's going to come towards me. There you go. And then you're going to slide this hand down the leg. Yep, lifting that arm, palm face overhead. There you go. Good job. And then coming back through to center. And this time we're going to extend our extended side angle. So we're going to drop that right hand all the way down inside that left foot. If you need your block here or a prop, you could still do so. You can keep that good strong bend in the front knee tracking over the toes. Left arm's going to come high overhead. Oh, yeah, socks can be dangerous, right? Taking 2 more breaths here. There you go. And then we're gonna slowly come all the way back up to center. All right, I know this front leg's burning. We're gonna stay here for just a little longer, okay? Same position of the hips here. This time we're gonna reach out over that front leg, okay? So front knee's bent, reaching out over it. That left arm's gonna meet that right. And then we're gonna come back through to center. So this is a little bit of an oblique kind of crunch, right? So extend out. Reach all the way out over. Left arm meets the right. Use just your abdominals to lift yourself back up to center. There you go. 3 more. Extend out. Reach. Coming back up. Good job. And 2 more. I know that front leg's burning, but can you have both the burn and the joy, right? Extending out. And lifting back up, there you go, and straighten into that front leg. Whew. Shake the hips a little if you need to, good job. And then we're gonna cartwheel down, frame that right foot, sweep that right foot high to the sky as we lower it down to meet the left. And again, pedal out your down dog here if you need to. We're just gonna turn around so we're not facing the wall. So we're gonna inhale, sweep the left leg high. Lift that left foot in between the hands, planting it in between. Cartwheel that back heel down. And then bring those arms up. There you go. Nice deep bend in that front knee. Tucking that pelvic bone up underneath you. Good job. Shoulders down away from the ears. Take a deep breath. There you go. And then we're going to come to that extended side. So we're going to plant that left forearm. Reach that right hand all the way over towards the front wall for this one. Again, both feeling that extension of your hand towards the front wall as your right foot's pulling towards the wall behind you. And then coming back through to center. Keeping your base exactly how it is. Planting that right arm on your right thigh. And then slide that right arm down that right leg as your left arm lifts overhead. Palm faces down towards the ground. Good job. And then coming back through the center. Luke's trying to wave at you, Alex. I don't know if you saw that. And then we're going to plant that left hand down on the ground. Again, if you need the block here, you might plant that block inside. Right arm just is going to shoot right up high to the sky. Y'all are doing great. 1 more breath. And then we're going to come back through the center. And we're going to do our obliques here, right? So keeping your base, reach out over. So you really should only feel the tick-tock in your abdominals here, right? Reaching out over that left leg, right arm meets the left, and then coming back through the center. Good job. Maintain that base, reaching out over, right arm meets the left, back through the center. 3 more. Y'all are doing wonderful. Use your breath. Beautiful. You got it. One more good one. There you go. Coming back to the center. Release, and then straighten into that leg. Shake it out. There we go. And then we're going to cartwheel down, frame that left foot, and then sweep that left foot high to the sky as we lower it down to meet the right. Again, kind of sigh it out if you need to. I think it's really cool, again, just to see the example through Jesus of his death and his resurrection, in the sense that also things can feel extremely hard and still cultivate extreme goodness for us. So how do we lean into that both and for ourselves, right? We're going to take a nice inhale, sweeping that left leg high to the sky again. Exhale in between the hands. And we're going to rotate that back heel down, cartwheeling all the way up. This one, we're not going to necessarily have such a warrior bend, right? So you can have a little micro bend in that front leg, keeping that back heel down. So we're coming into our triangle pose here. So I want you guys to notice how your hips are in this like plane, right? Yeah, we're flossing here, right? So we have this plane with our body, almost like there's 2 sheets of glass just holding us in place, okay? So with these sheets of glass holding us in place, we want to reach through the sheets of glass. Keep your hips stacked on, your right hip stacked on top of the left, right? And then again, you can use a block here if you need to, or you can just bring that back of the left hand inside that left shin. Right arm's gonna come high. So we really wanna tuck that left hip up underneath. So when you tuck that hip up underneath, your arm might rise yourself up in order to keep that hip tucked, okay? There you go. And then we're gonna come all the way back. We're gonna do a little reverse triangle this time. So again, slide that right hand down. That back leg, left arm's gonna come overhead. There you go, palm facing down towards the ground, and then coming back through the center. And then we're gonna just rotate our right foot parallel to the side of our mat, okay? Staying right here, this might be a good place for your block again. If you have a block, or if you just wanna kind of lightly press to the outside of your leg, you can do that as well. But if you have a block, we're gonna take it and place it right to the inside of that left foot, keeping your feet parallel to the sides of your mat, revolving that left arm high to the sky. Okay, so again, maybe you just place your right hand on the ground inside that left foot, revolve, use your core, hold yourself steady. 2 more breaths. And then we're gonna come back down to center. And what we're gonna do is place the hands on the hips as we lift up, cactus those arms, a little baby back bend, right? Hands on the hips, come back down, place that right hand, revolve that left arm high. So we're gonna do a little movement here, right? So come back down, frame that foot, hands on the hips first. As you lift up, little baby back bend, hands on the hips again, coming back down. Right hand plants, left arm revolves high. So you're getting some good back twists, then just bring that left arm right back down. Hands on the hips, so lift yourself up. Little baby back bend. There you go. One more good one, folding all the way down, planting that right hand, revolving that left arm high, and then coming right back down, hands on the hips, lifting yourself up, little baby back bend. There you go, and then we're gonna just go ahead and frame that left foot. Go ahead and sweep it high to the sky and lower it down to meet the right. Pedaling out, that down dog, sighing out your breath if you need to. And then we're gonna come to the opposite side. So we're gonna sweep that right foot high to the sky. And then sweep that right foot in between the hands, right? Cartwheel that back heel down. Go ahead and cartwheel your arms up if you'd like. And go ahead and straighten into that front leg. Again, sheets of glass. Okay, so notice where you're at. And then reach as far forward over that right leg as you can, keeping that right leg straight. Back of the right hand can come inside that right shin. Or if you need the block here, you can use your hand on the block, left arm high. Really, again, tucking that right hip up underneath that left one. Use your core to help you tuck yourself in a little bit more. There you go. Taking 2 full breaths. And coming back up the center. And then we're going to reverse a little micro bend in that front leg this time, just so don't hyperextend. Left hand down that left leg. Right hand's going to sweep overhead, palm facing down towards the ground. There we go. And then coming back through to center. And then we're going to just rotate that left foot around. Feet are going to be in opposite lanes here. Heels or sides of your feet are going to be parallel to your mat. Okay. You can go ahead and hinge at the waist. And again, if you want to plant that block to the inside of that right foot, you can. Planting that left hand on that right block. On that block, lifting your right arm high. Very good. 2 more breaths. Good job, everybody. Beautiful. And then we're going to come back down all the way. We're going to go ahead and put our hands on the hips, lift ourselves up, little baby back bend. And then bringing those hands on the hips, slowly melting down. Again, a little micro bend in that front knee, right? Planting that left hand, revolve the right arm high. Really using your core, and then come right back down to where you're at. Hands on the hips, hinge yourself up, keeping that back flat. We don't want to round it out, right? Little baby back bend. And then coming right back down. Hinging slowly. Left hand's going to plant. Right arm's going to lift high. There you go. Coming back down, hands on the hips. Keeping that back flat as you lift up. Beautiful. Little baby back bend. Good job. Hands on the hips, melting down. We're going to do 1 more like this. Revolving that right arm high. Good job. Coming all the way down. Then hands on the hips, lifting yourself up. Little baby back bend. Beautiful. Hands on the hips, melting all the way down. Sweeping that right foot high to the sky. Lower it down to meet the left. Y'all did great. Pedal it out. Beautiful, beautiful. We're going to go ahead and roll through to high plank. Lower ourselves all the way down. Chaturanga push-up. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, down dog. Okay. We're going to inhale, sweep that right leg high to the sky. And this time, sweep that right foot outside the right hand. Okay. Just kind of feel your hips here. So if you want to stay right here for 5 breaths, you can stay right here. If you want to bring your block down, maybe you rest your forearms on your block. We're going to take 5 breaths. Okay. Using your breath. Beautiful. And then slowly walk those hands back up underneath you just to lift yourself up. And we're going to frame that right foot. So tick-tock that right foot more towards the middle. So keeping this low lunge here. This one's going to feel probably really difficult, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to lift those hips straight back, trying to straighten into that right leg. And then we're bending back down. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. If you want to use 2 blocks outside of your leg here, you can press into 2 blocks. There you go. And then straightening, using your breath. For these tight hips, this is a dream. Doesn't feel like a dream. It can be both painful and good for you, right? And then slowly bending all the way back. We're going to walk that right hand back inside that right foot, sweeping that right foot high to the sky, and then lower it down to meet the left. There you go. All right, inhale, sweep that left leg high. Exhale, outside the left hand. You're gonna really use that core to lift yourself up as you roll through with your spine, right? And we're gonna bring that block, and if you wanna rest your forearms on your block, you can. If you wanna just stay with your hands planted in the mat, you can. We're gonna take 5 full breaths. I really love this song that's playing, The Hills and Valleys, because I think that is the ability to acknowledge that God is in both, right? He's in both, and he's in the hills and the valleys. He's in the highs and the lows, right? Very good. And slowly removing that block. Then we're going to sweep that left hand outside. So you're going to just tick-tock that left foot in between the hands. And again, straightening into that left leg. And then bending. Inhale. And exhale. Inhaling. There you go. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Very good. 2 more just like this. Exhale. 1 more good one. Y'all are doing great. And then plant those hands nice and firm, sweeping that left foot high to the sky. As you lower it down to meet the right. We're just going to do some little hip circles here. So what I want us to do is sweep that right leg high, okay? And then I want you to go ahead and bend into that right knee, okay? And then we're just going to do little baby hip circles forward. Keeping that knee bent, just allowing the little baby hip circles. And then going backwards. Y'all are doing great. Use the strength of your arms. And drop that right foot down to meet the left. Inhale, sweep that left leg high. Bending into that left knee. And again, little baby hip circles forward. And then little baby circles backwards. Very good. And dropping that left foot down to meet the right. Pedal out your dog again. And then take a nice inhale. And then as you exhale, we're going to drag that right ankle back behind that left wrist. Right knee behind the right wrist. Reaching up with your chest, squeezing those shoulder blades together at the back. We're in our pigeon pose here. So keeping that pigeon nice and tall for just 3 good breaths. Again, we're stretching into that hip flexor. And then we're going to slowly lower ourselves all the way down. Maybe you press your palms into the mat and rest your forehead on your palms or on the back of your hands. I'm going to come around and just make sure everyone's hips are square. Finding your stillness. Finding your both and your and. Pretty good at this pigeon pose. If you want to walk your elbows out in front of you just a little bit more. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Finding your breath, nice and slow. We're going to take 5 more breaths here. And after your 5th and final breath, you can start to slowly walk those hands back up underneath you, wherever you're at, pressing into the mat. We're going to tuck the toes of that back leg, lift those hips up as you sweep that right foot back high to the sky and drop it down. Again, maybe you kind of rock your hips side to side. There you go. You're going to sweep that left leg high as we then drag that left ankle behind the right wrist, left knee behind the left wrist, squeezing those shoulder blades together at the back. Stay right up here for about 4 breaths. And then you can slowly start making your way all the way down to your mat. You can really make sure you walk those elbows out in front of you just a little bit more so that your shoulders can all be a little bit more square as well. Is this your injured side?
Yeah.
Okay, can you rock on top? Okay, there you go. There you go. If you need the rest of the block underneath you, you can do that as well, just to help. Yeah. Our exclusive ways of thinking, our black and white thinking, can actually lend us to being more legalistic than we would like to be. Thinking that there's maybe like one conviction for everybody, right? Or one way of doing something. And I think as long as we're learning to lean into what God and the Holy Spirit has convicted of us, that we will be able to truly embrace that middle ground, right? To truly embrace one another, to be able to speak that truth in love in one another's lives, right? Taking 5 more breaths here on this side. Very good. And after your 5th and final breath, just walk those hands back up underneath you. We're going to go ahead and tuck the toes, that back leg again. Lift those hips up high to the sky. You can lift your left leg high if you'd want. And just go ahead and again, pedal out, rock those hips side to side. And then we're all just going to meet in our child's pose. So we're going to just drop to our knees, bringing those feet together, knees out wide, allowing those hips to sink back onto the heels. Extending those palms out in front of you. Again, the both and here is acknowledging that your hands are reaching out in front of you as your hips are pulling behind you, right? So feeling that adjustment in your body. If you need to kind of protect your shoulders, if you have bad shoulders, you can imagine that there's like a little tennis ball in the palms of your hands. So you're kind of coming up off of the ground with your palms into little spider fingers here. And imagining that there's that tennis ball, and this is if you have tricky shoulders, right? Taking 3 full breaths here in the center. And then after your 3rd and final breath here in the center, I want everyone to walk those hands all the way off the left side of your mat. And then bringing that right hand on top of that left hand, all the way over off the left side. There you go. So you should feel that nice stretch all the way down that shoulder into your lats. Beautiful. And then come back through to center. And then slowly walking those hands all the way off the right side of your mat. Left hand coming on top of the right. Finding your breath, finding your stillness. We're slowing ourselves down here. Very good. And then you can slowly come back through to center. Then we're going to just go ahead and walk those hands back up underneath us, coming into that tabletop, and just walk those knees all the way through, coming onto your tailbone. Maybe scoot your butt towards the middle of your mat a little bit more to allow room for yourself, and just slowly rolling yourself down, 1 vertebrae at a time. Maybe you just give yourself a little good morning stretch even for right now. Just arms overhead, legs out in front of you. Again, feeling that pull from one wall to the other. There you go. There you go. And then from here, we're gonna just go ahead and hug our left knee into the chest. Okay, so grabbing that left knee, pulling it in. We're gonna go ahead and pull that left knee kind of towards the outside of our left armpit here. Just really hugging that in, again, opening that hip this way. And then do a half happy baby. So flipping that left foot up towards the ceiling, finding that 90-degree angle with your left leg, and pulling with a nice deep elbow bend, that left knee down towards the outside edge of that armpit. There you go. Bend into your elbow as you grab your foot. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Okay. And then from here, you can go ahead and just hug that knee back into the chest. And we're gonna allow our hips to kind of lift and shift to the right. So you're resting on just that left, oh wait, sorry. Lift and shift your hips to the left, so you're resting on the right butt cheek, right? And then allow that left knee to fold over that right side of the body, letting your right hand catch your left knee. And again, giving yourself a little cactus arm with your left arm. Just allowing that left elbow to bend. And then if you can, turn your gaze out over that left shoulder as your right hand is catching you on the ground. There you go. If your hand is allowed to fall down, just let it fall. Will it fall? Oh, okay. I was just making sure. How much is what? Yeah, no, that is very normal actually. It just depends on the rotation of your shoulders, really. Like I have some poses that I can do really well with my arms, but then like rotating it a certain direction, it doesn't allow that, so it's okay. Mm-hmm. There you go. It actually might be really tight for you right there because of surfing, because of doing that paddle out like this, like you're rotating this way, but you're not really rotating back. So you can practice just allowing that shoulder rotation for yourself if you like, yeah. Good, and you guys can slowly start to bring those knees back through to center, hugging both of them into the chest, just kind of rocking side to side again. And then we're gonna do a little half happy baby here on this opposite side. So again, flipping that right foot up towards the ceiling. Really nice deep elbow bend here. You can rotate that right knee open towards the outside of your body, almost towards that right edge of your mat, right? And find that 90-degree angle with your leg as you pull that right foot down towards the ground. Finding your breath. Flip this foot up. Just let go with this arm. There you go. There you go. And if you want to press your left hand into your hip to hold it down kind of thing, like keep pulling this foot up. There you go. Good job, everybody. Taking 2 more breaths here. And then we're going to just start to slowly hug that right knee back into the chest. And this time we're going to allow our hips to kind of lift and shift to the right as we rest on that left butt cheek. And then bring that right knee over that left side of the body. And then again, you can kind of cactus arms here as that left arm catches that right knee. Again, turning that gaze out over the right shoulder. Notice if you're clenching your left leg at all. See if you can just let your left leg go. It can be really easy to try to protect yourself. You don't need to. Your body can do this, right? Finding 4 solid breaths here on the side. There you go. And then after your 4th and final breath, you can start to slowly bring those knees back through to center. Hugging those knees into the chest. And just again, if you want to rock side to side, if you want to give yourself some knee circles here, massaging the top of that tailbone. I think we can forget how tight that little spot can get just sitting in our chairs all day. So allowing yourself to embrace both the work and the release. All right, and then we're gonna extend ourselves out long on our mat. So kicking those feet out in front of you. If you notice you've scooted down, maybe you scoot yourself back just a little bit. And then we're gonna clasp opposite elbows overhead. So clasping those opposite elbows, we're gonna come into that banana crescent moon pose. So what I want us to do first is just walk those feet to the bottom right corner of your mat, as far as you can get them to go, while keeping your hips right where they're at. And then you can allow your upper torso to kind of tick-tock over toward the upper right corner. So by the time you get into your final pose here, you should feel like you're in the shape of a banana or crescent moon. And maybe with every breath, you allow yourself to go a little deeper, right? Allowing that full extension. Taking 3 full breaths here on this side. And then you can slowly come back through center. And then you can allow yourself just to tick-tock those feet over towards the bottom left corner of your mat. And maybe even re-grab your elbows so it feels a little awkward, right? So re-grasp opposite elbows and then tick-tock that torso to the upper left corner. Again, you should feel like that banana shape, crescent moon shape. Slowing yourself down with your breath. And then you can slowly make your way back through to center. And do any kind of final postures you feel like you might need before you enter into that resting pose. So if you need another spinal twist, if you need any sort of happy, like double happy baby, whatever works for you, before you allow yourself to rest fully and completely. Noticing your breath, again, being in tune with that inward part. Again, God gives us the most perfect example of the both and. He is the Father and the Son. He is the gift giver and the ultimate judge. He is truth and love. So when we are worshiping in spirit and in truth and in love, again, we're in that kind of fact or state of being plus that action, right? That acceptance plus that movement. When we don't give ourselves permission to live in the both and, we limit our abilities to receive the fullness of life that's been given to us. So as you rest here, may you rest and meditate on that both and in your life, what that might look like for you to be both and, to be both still and productive, to be both resting and active, to be both a giver and a receiver. And if you would not like an essential oil head massage, just rest with one hand on your chest and I will pass you by. If you're okay with it, then I will come around and give you an essential oil head massage. If you're at home, just tune into your breath, tune into your breathing, receiving this gift of stillness. And just take 5 more deep, full expression breaths here where you're at. Feeling every part of your body. A fetal posture before making your way up to a comfortable seat, you can. If you would like to end class laying on your back, you can do that as well. Or if you'd like to just come straight up to your comfortable seat, whatever works for you. Moving slowly and mindfully, bringing more of that alertness back into the body. And then wherever you're ending your class, you can go ahead and bring those palms together, thumbs together, and place the thumbs in between the eyes. I pray that your thoughts would be fully aware of how to embrace the both and, how to embrace both the suffering and the joy, how to embrace the difficult times and the goodness that comes with it, how to embrace the storm and the growth, living more in that in between on the spectrum, not realizing that you don't have to be on one end or the other. Moving those hands to the mouth. I pray that you would be able to speak life into your friends, to your partners, to your coworkers about the both and. Speaking that encouragement, speaking the truth in love, speaking the truth in love. And moving your hands to your heart. Pray that your heart would feel whole, having that spiritual wholeness that they talk about in the Bible, that ultimate peace, because you can embrace the both and, because you can embrace the ebb and the flow, knowing that God is embracing you. It's all these things that we ask and pray. In Jesus' name, amen. And Jai Masi, the light of Jesus in me sees and honors light of Jesus in each of you. Jai Masi.